Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Today I'm going to show you a technique of adding loops to your project as you're crocheting. So here we have Bernat blanket here, and this is Bernat Alize blanket easy. So what we can do is that we can add this into the project at the same time to provide the texture that you see. So this pillow just happens to be almost a half and half. So I'm going to show you some techniques today in order to do it, and I'm going to show you an outtake that I did as well because that's important. So here's outtake number 1, and I got back to my desk after filming. I was kinda happy with it, and I looked at it and I'm like, geez, I can see all this gray. I'm like, it doesn't look like you can see the Bernat blanket in behind the loops. So I went back to the instructions. It turns out I gotta pull 2 loops through each single crochet. This is only 1. So you can see what happens when you go jincy like I did, is that you'll be able to see that. But if that doesn't bother you, of course, that's up to you. You are the artist. You can do what you want. So I'm gonna show you the right way, but this is how it would look if it was only 1 loop instead of 2. So the first thing you need to decide was what is right side, what is wrong side. So right side is the side that you're looking at when the project is done, and the wrong side is the underside of the project or the inside. So if it's a pillow, the wrong side is on the inside. So what we want to do is that we want to start off with our Bernat blanket Alize, and you want to go to the 3rd loop in. So you just get the 3rd loop and the 4th loop. So you're just gonna put 2 loops together always and put it into the front of the project. And you don't want these tangling, and it really won't tangle if you're just keeping your eyes on it. And now you're going to insert into the first stitch of the blanket, the Bernat blanket. They're very similar names, so I know I'm gonna screw that up through this tutorial. So they're on the front side, and you're going to single crochet, and that will trap the 2 loops to stay on the front of the project. So before you move on now to the next stitch, you just have to get your next 2 stitches available, and they are the next 2 in line. Okay, so you just not worry about the ones that you left on the very beginning. Those will get out of the way, and you're gonna use those later. So you're gonna put 2 loops in front, and then you're just gonna go to the next stitch and trap that into position. So I'm using 2 really different colors here just to illustrate how it's done. So then moving along, just get the next 2 loops. Now if you're doing a pillow or anything where the back side can be hidden really well, if you skip a loop, I wouldn't worry about it. But if it's a project where you can't see the back side and you skip a loop, it'll be something that you'll want to take care of right away. So you're just going to single crochet over top of the 2 loops, just continuing to move. So you just place the next 2 in line, and then just single crochet right over top of them, keeping them in the front side. So this is what happens when you want to keep the loops on the right side of the project or the front side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go all the way to the end, and then I'm gonna turn and show you how to do this concept is if you're working on the wrong side to keep the loops on the same side of each other. So let's do that next. So I'm coming all the way to the end of the project, and I'm coming into my last one. So I'm just gonna put my 2 loops in my last area here for the last stitch, and then that's it. So now I'm going to turn my work and go to the wrong side. So you'll see that it will look like this, almost like it's just sewn into position. So now we're going to start up. So we're gonna chain up 1 like you normally would, and we're going to place the 2 next loops, and you're gonna lay it down on the front. So just pulling it to the back side here, and that'll keep it to the front side, and then you're just gonna go. So instead of pulling it forward, you're pushing it back to keep the loops consistently on the same side of the project. Okay, you can give all the loops a little tug once you have them into position. So laying down the next 2 loops, see how kind of stacking them? You'll find your own way on what makes it easiest for you. Just make sure that they are popping out the other side. Okay, so just kind of just tug on them a little bit, and then get your next 2 loops up. So it's kind of easier, right, if you're seeing it from the front side of the project instead of the wrong side, but it's not a deal breaker either way. So you can see when you're turning it around now, all the loops are on the same side. So let me get all the way to the end, and I'll see you back there in just a moment. So I went all the way to the end, and now I'm turning again, and now you can see like a little lamb on this side. So now we're back to the right side of the project, and I am just going to shift this yarn that we're playing with, and I'm going to shift it so it's coming from the back, so I can just pull it up over the top. Once you get used to this kind of concept, it's really not a big deal at all. So to start the next one, you're just going to chain 1 like you normally would, and then you lay down your loops again, and then you just work your way across. So this would be how you would do it and keep these loops really quite amazing. Instead of crocheting the loops, they're already kinda done for you on their Bernat Alize Blanket Easy, and I think that it's a really cool concept. So if you're interested in this kind of concept, you know, texture is really trending right now. So it's a great way of getting the texture without a lot of sweat in the same process, and you can see it fills out beautifully. Even though there's a contrasting color in play, you can see that it really does cover that. But if you use the right colors, you'd see it be really awesome. So remember the difference I showed you. So this is using one loop, this is two, and you can see it's a significant difference when you put them side by side. Have a great day. We'll see you again real soon.